I loved exploring the city I was in, and I loved meeting new people, but when I was in the house, I felt like trapped. I felt uncomfortable. It was just not what I was expecting at all. I just couldn't understand why she couldn't have just told me what to do with the tablecloth, and why I had to go ask the host dad when the host dad doesn't speak English. Oh my god.
The au pair doesn't speak Italian. Oh my gosh. Hey guys, it's Briar, and let's chat about it. I feel like ever since the Mary-Kate and Ashley movies and the Lizzie McGuire movie, it has really been a girly pop dream to go to Europe and have an adventure. This is what dreams are made of. And this is where our story really starts today, because a girl by the name of Ella posted on her social media all about moving to Milan for 3 months and being an au pair. She was capturing it all and she was living the girly pop dream. Until she wasn't. When she abruptly and suddenly posted a video of her being incredibly scared and sneaking out of her host family's home to go literally back to America. And well, yeah, as you can imagine, this went viral, but B, Selena Gomez, everything was not as it seems. And when the true story unraveled and the TikTok sleuths investigated, this whole story unraveled. And that is what I really want to chat about with you guys today. Chat about Ella, her experience, and the real reason and story behind why she left. And then the aftermath of it all. So, if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick around and let's get into it. And now I wanted to start with Ella's side of the story. I feel like for some reason in my head it makes the most sense to go through all of her content and the stories that she posted. And then afterwards we will get into the investigations, what TikTok found out about the family and the truth of the situation. So, who is Ella, I hear you all asking? Well, Ella just seems like a girly. She's 21 years old, and this trip to Milan seemed to be really huge for her. There was a lot of firsts that she was vlogging, and just from the day in the life videos, I at least really get a sense of how young and how new all of these experiences are, which valid and fair when you're 21 years old. Probably this is her first or one of her first biggest adventures on her own. So I did want to show you a day in the life vlog that she made, so you guys can get a vibe of the content that she was posting, but also get a vibe of what I mean with this naivety. And I'm not trying to say it in a derogatory way. I'm just saying it in the sense I feel like it adds context and layers to the situation. So let's watch this day in the life vlog she posted.
It's my first full day in Milan. I'm walking by myself to find the Duomo di Milano. I'm super excited. We're going solo today, and then we might try gelato for the first time. Since walking is one of the main types of transportation, there's human stoplights literally everywhere, and if you don't follow them, you're gonna get hit by a car. I found that out very quickly. See, here's my human stoplight, and there's so many of them. There's little flower shops everywhere. So cute. Oh my gosh, you guys, I see it. Whoa. We're not even at the front of it yet. That's literally amazing. Wow. Wow, it is so crowded. It's currently 2:43 on a Thursday. I'm currently in the Galleria Vittoro Emanuele II, I think. Yes. So cool. So crowded though. Also, the Italian men here, gorgeous.
And I hope it makes sense now why I showed you this vlog, because I feel like we learn a lot about Ella. We learn that she's trying a lot of new things for the first time. You also definitely get a sense that she doesn't really know Italian, just in the way that she's pronouncing things. Me neither. I knew un poquito español when I went to Spain last year, but that was for but a week. And I understand you pick up and learn a language so much better when you live it. But I also do feel like you get that childish wonder of her taking in the sights. And I do feel like people can feel that at any age, traveling and seeing new things and seeing beautiful European architecture and things that are so old is amazing, stunning. You don't have to be young to feel that wonder and that amazement. But also I do feel like her not knowing what a pedestrian crossing is definitely raises a red flag to me. I don't know, do you guys? comment down below, do you have pedestrian crossings where you live? We definitely, if you come to New Zealand, I know what they tell you, that we live in huts and we have no Wi-Fi. We say that because we think it's funny. But in reality, if you come to New Zealand, yes, use the pedestrian crossings, otherwise a car will hit you. Like, sorry, that's kind of how they work. And I feel like it just helps us to build a picture of who this is and like the skills and the life experiences that she is coming into the situation with. So like I alluded to in the intro, she has moved to Milan to be an au pair for 3 months. And like I said, she was posting content throughout, like when she had her time off, she would go explore, she was trying new foods for the first time. So it was very much a part of her content. And then all of a sudden she posted this video that caused a lot of concern and just went completely and utterly viral. So let's watch this now.
Oh my gosh, I'm literally shaking. That was the scariest thing ever. I couldn't figure out how to get past the gate, but I got it. And carrying all these bags, it's kind of scary. I just hope the train comes soon. Okay, I made it to the airport. I had to take an Uber because the train wasn't coming for another 30 minutes. So I'm at my check-in gate. I don't know when I'll get checked in, but I made it. Thank gosh. So I'm still sitting here at the airport. I haven't checked my bags because I couldn't check until 2.5 hours before my flight. And I came here like 5.5 hours before my flight. So yeah, I've just been chilling. Unfortunately, didn't get any souvenirs for anyone nor myself. So I'm just taking a little gander at the Italian food. I still don't know my gate, so I can't go anywhere. Update, I got lunch. And I'm doing well on time, so I'll see you when I board my flight out of this dang city.
So as you can see from the screen recording, it had 1 million likes at the time, and there is a lot of very emotive language being used in this video. As you could see in the caption, it was about getting home safely, as well as having to sneak out of her host family's home, and her repeating that it was very scary. Now, keeping in mind, this all happened within the week of her arriving. Like, don't worry, we will confirm the timeline in a bit, but the switch up was so fast from I'm vlogging day in my life in Italy to literally have to leave right now, this is not safe. That video is no longer on her page. She does have this other video though that has 2.9 million views.
Shows that we ain't gonna stand shit.
And the irony is not lost on me that 3 days before that video she used the same trend, but instead it was all about booking a one-way ticket to Italy. So in the beginning that was all the context people had. They had all of these vlogs, all of these day in the lives, and then it very quickly changed to she didn't feel safe, she was really scared, and she had to get home safely immediately and sneak out of her host family's house. So obviously everyone wanted to know what had happened. And I think as well, like a lot of people's mind go to the worst case scenario of like trafficking or like something very scary that is a very real concern for young women going across the world and like being in a place they don't know with a language they don't know. However, a day after her posting the probably needed a hug, so I snuck out of my host family's home video, she posted her story time. And for some reason, it's in lots of different parts. But anyway, let's just simply get into the story time. We can pause at each part. Shall we? Sounds good? Okay, cool. Let's get into it.
Here's the highly requested story time on how and why I had to sneak out of my au pair family's house in Italy. I just want to first say that I did not expect at all that video to do what it is doing right now. I'm like still in shock. I'm like really like don't know what is happening right now. This is gonna be multiple parts, so I'm sorry, but it has to be that way because I have a lot to say. And I want to make a disclaimer, I did pay for my entire flight there and back. They paid for nothing, and I can promise you this was not a vacation in my eyes. Like I did not spend over $1,000 to fly there and back in less than a week. And I did my research, so all y'all can zip it. But we're gonna start from the very beginning. If you don't know what an au pair is, it's basically someone that goes to live with a family in another country, and you either watch their kids, you do light housework, and in return you get food and board. So I met my host family on Au Pair World. This is something that I've seen a lot of people do. It's not an agency, so it's not like official. I didn't pay for anything. We didn't sign any contracts, anything like that. But that is where I met my host family. Also in these videos, we're referring to them as host mom, host dad, and host child. That's what we'll do because we don't need to be getting in trouble. I'm just telling my story, my experience. Okay, let's keep it going. So the host mom reached out to me. She said she liked my profile. She wanted to get to know me more and wanted to chat with me. I read over her profile, and on there were the things I would be doing. This included waking her son up, getting him changed, giving him his milk, walking him to school at 8:30, picking him up from school at 6, so he was in school all day long, and then heating up his dinner, and then I clean up after dinner. I also had Friday afternoons and weekends off. So fast forward a little bit, we FaceTimed twice. We got along very well. She was very talkative, seemed very nice, and I was really excited. I had let her know I was interested in coming to live with them. They agreed. They said that we'd be a good fit. So I then booked my flight to Italy and left for Italy 2 weeks later. So it was quick. It was quick. They wanted an au pair as soon as possible. So I gave my work like 3 weeks notice. Mind you, remember, we have no contracts. I paid for my flight. So I was supposed to stay 85 days total. So about 3 months. Yeah. So to make this more organized and explain everything, I think I'm going to break it down pretty much day by day. And I was there for 4 total days.
So to me, the biggest red flag in part 1 is obviously the no contract situation. Yes, it is done through like a website that facilitates these situations, but I feel like for both the host family and the au pair, having a contract does just provide that extra level of safety, and I feel like it speaks to maybe definitely her naivety of what could or could not have gone wrong. But I also wonder if maybe for the host family, they have never needed to have a contract before. Everyone else that they've used before has been fine or maybe had more experience, so it was just easier. I'm not really sure. But that to me is the first like big red flag of the situation. And I also just think it's worth noting how she really makes it seem like there's minimal to do for the family and the kid, like very light housework, picking the kid up. They're gone for a long time. She has Friday afternoons and weekends off. Like, her understanding is that there's a lot of time where she doesn't have to do anything, and like that's how she interpreted the situation. But anyway, let's move on to part 2.
Part 2 of how and why I had to sneak out of my au pair family's house in Italy. Go check out part 1 because that explains a little bit more of the backstory. So I arrived in Italy Wednesday, April 2nd at 12 p.m. My host mom met me at the airport, picked me up, and we went back to their house. At this point, everything was good. I was still so excited to be there. We got home, I unpacked everything, and then we sat down to eat lunch. So this is the first red flag. At lunch, she starts ranting to me about her job. Apparently, she had been moved to a different position that was like lower. I honestly don't know. It was hard for me to understand a lot of the times. I just know that she was not happy. She got moved to a different position, but that was the first red flag. She already started putting her problems, like just ranting to me, and I had just got there. So after lunch, I settle in a little more, and then my host mom tells me to go with the host dad to the store so that I can get some food for breakfast and lunches for me. This is the second problem. This was a huge problem because the host dad spoke no English at all. He spoke as much English as I speak Italian, which is none. I can say ciao. This was like one of the main problems because they needed an au pair because the host dad is gone Monday through Thursday. He travels for his job, so he's gone Monday through Thursday. I was expecting the host mom to be teaching me these things, but instead I go to the store with the host dad. It's quite awkward because it's just silent. He can't speak to me, I can't communicate to him. When we're in the store, it's hard to communicate. We're just using Google Translate for everything. But we go to the store, we get the things we needed, and we get back home. When we got home, the host mom wasn't there. I guess she had left to go to work. So it was me and the host dad again. And one of my jobs is picking up the host child from school. Instead of showing me how to use public transport or the way to walk to get to his school, he took the car, which, okay, it's the first day. I'm okay with that. I didn't think anything of it, honestly, but as the story goes on, you'll see the problem. When we got home, I played with the host child. We were playing blocks. The host dad tried to show me how to heat up his dinner, which it was very difficult because, again, there's a language barrier, and the stoves, the oven, everything is different in a different country. After the host child eats, I'm still playing with him. Host mom said she gets off of work 7:30, 8 at the latest, and we'd eat when she gets home, and she'd be cooking dinner for us every night. But about 9 o'clock, the host mom gets home from work. She doesn't seem happy about work and about her situation there, but I still didn't pick up these cues until a few days later. We eat dinner that, mind you, the host dad cooked for us, not the host mom. And then the host mom shows me what I need to be doing after dinner: put away the dishes, clean the pots and pans, wipe down the counters. None of this was an issue because I knew this was what I would be doing. After I did everything, I thought I was good to go to bed. It was pretty late at this point, but I said I was going to bed, and she told me I needed to come bathe the host child. Which, one thing about me, I'm not good with confrontation, and I am not good at sticking up for myself, so that was one of the issues as well, and that's on me. So I did it. I gave the host boy a bath. She showed me how to do it, although I know how to bathe the child. She was just very particular about everything. Everything had to be done her way, or just you might as well just not even do it. So that was my first day. I finally went to bed.
How do I, Briar Chats, put this? Would I personally, even in my 21-year-old self, go to a country for 3 months not knowing anything but hi and bye. No. But if I am going to go to another country that doesn't speak my language, going to those countries, you shouldn't expect them to know English. A lot of people do because it's a lot more common to learn multiple language, which is really good for your brain and stuff, but you can't assume for people to know your language when you're going to a country where English is not a national language. So if you're happy to do that, you have to accept the consequences that people might not know the language. Or I don't know, maybe for her, making sure that all of the people in the house speak a little bit of English so she can communicate with her if that's going to be a problem for her. To me, it's just really strange, the kind of judgment that I felt from her to him not knowing English, when it's like, you're the one in Italy where they speak Italian and you've accepted this job. There's no assumption for him to know English. And it's just super strange that there's so much judgment, especially in the big old day of 2025 when there's phones, Google Translate. Like it's so easy to translate things and to communicate in other ways. And it also just helps you with your problem solving skills and picking up on a language quickly to learn how to communicate, to share words, to point at things and say, this is the word in English, this is the word in Italian. It just seems like there is so much judgment from her to him for not knowing English, yet no self-awareness of going and moving to a country for 3 months not knowing a lickety split of Italian except for ciao and gelato. But anyway, there is definitely a lot of judgment coming from her, and I get that it's after the fact, after she feels very strongly about the situation, so I understand that. There is definitely a lot of judgment from her towards the parents, and just maybe a lack of communication or understanding from her of what the induction would look like. Like I feel like these are questions that you should ask, or if this is your first au pair job, like arriving on a day when the mum has time to show you how to do every single thing because you've never done it before. It seems like she didn't really have the mentality of like, I'm just going to jump in, get stuck in, look on Google Maps, Google where the school is so I can walk and, you know, do all these things, figure out where the supermarket is. Like it just feels like there was that disconnect as well. And interestingly, she had connected with other au pairs from the website. So I also found it interesting that maybe she didn't talk to them or ask them like for advice or how things work for them. It just seems like she had a very high expectation of the family to train her as if they're like a professional company training her how to be an au pair. And it sounds like equally the mum had a high expectation of her knowing what to do and doing things in specific ways. But anyway, let's get to part 3, shall we?
Part 3 of my highly requested story time on how and why I had to sneak out of my au pair family's house in Italy. Thursday, April 3rd, my first full day in Italy. I woke up, got ready, went to the kitchen so that I could learn my morning tasks, what I'm supposed to be doing. I got up around 8 and the host dad and the host child come out into the kitchen. The host dad gives him his milk. Again, this is the problem. The host mom is the only one that speaks English here. The host dad speaks as much English as I speak Italian, which is none. The host child doesn't speak English either. The host dad is trying to show me how to do these things, but there's this big language barrier here. So this is why I just didn't understand why she couldn't have been helping me. The host dad got him his milk, didn't show me how to heat it up, didn't show me how much I'm giving him, nothing like that. And the host mom was still sleeping. The host mom ended up getting up at around 8:20. By the time we were ready to leave to take him to school, it was late and we had to take the car again, which I still needed to learn how to use the public transport and or to walk the directions to get there. So we drive, take him to school. It's awkward, it's hard to communicate, but I do it. And then when I returned home, I decided to take a little nap. I was still jet lagged a little bit. So I took about a 2-hour nap and I wake up to the host mom texting me, "Hi Ella, where are you?" So I get out of bed, I go into the kitchen and she's there. Also, I didn't understand this because I thought she was supposed to be at work. Like the things she says just aren't adding up. So she tells me that I should go walk around. So I'm like, okay, let me just get out. So I make myself some lunch and then I head out. This was my first full day in Milan. I did a vlog on it, so you can go look at that. You can see that I'm very happy. I was so happy when I was out of the house. I loved exploring the city I was in and I loved meeting new people, but when I was in the house I felt like trapped. I felt uncomfortable. It was just not what I was expecting at all. So when I got home, again, we drove to pick up the boy and I was with the host dad again because the host mom had gone to work later. Don't know why. We got home. The host dad tried again to show me how to make his dinner. And then after he eats, we go into the living room, hang out. And the host dad goes to pick up the host mom from work. This is like 8:30 at this point. They get back at like after 9:30. He doesn't have a far commute to work, so I was very confused about that part. Like, where did they go? Why did they leave me alone with him so long? when like I'm just learning and I barely learned anything because of this language barrier. I had to give him a bath again that night, which is fine. I would have done it and been happy doing it if it was what she had said I would be doing, but instead she said I would be cleaning up after dinner while she gives him a bath because she wants to spend time with him because she's at work all day. That was day 2, but my first full day. Day 3 and 4 are really when I just couldn't take it anymore.
Now, not to make it all about muy, but I do feel like I can relate this situation to when I went to do Camp America when I had just turned 18. I do remember being incredibly overwhelmed when I arrived. Like, I remember being in my bunk and being like, well, if I don't like it, it's only 3 months of my life. Like, I was genuinely so overwhelmed. Am I ever going to get used to this, get through this, and feel better and enjoy the situation? Spoiler alert, I did. I went back the next year. It was very fun. The funny thing is I think about also the training for that, and it's like, yes, we do a lot of training on safety with kids, you know, making sure they have a buddy system, people aren't left alone with children, like all of that stuff, as well as learning how to operate all of like the camp activities. But no one like tells you how to interact with a child. Like, there's an assumption, even though I was freshly 18 at the time, there was an assumption that you understood how to behave around children and how to look after them and how to be with them. Like, I was a cabin counselor, so I was literally with them 24/7 the whole week. And so for her to be freaking out for being left alone with the child for an hour is quite strange to me, because I feel like one of the biggest assumptions of being an au pair is like having the child and looking after the child. Like, call me crazy cuckoo bananas if you want in the comments, I don't know. But I feel like a lot of au pairs actually have to look after the kids in the afternoon and the morning more on their own. And so considering the fact that she was very judgmental and concerned that she was left with the child who had been fed and they were just hanging out for an hour is quite strange. It just builds on this fact that maybe she really did not know what to expect and she was really unprepared for the situation. And like, yes, I get it, she's young, like it's her first experience, but I think this is when, if you're not the most proactive person, if you're not proactive to learn the basics of a language, if you're not proactive to learn what an au pair does and like what the expectations are, and because there's no contract, like you're probably just gonna be expected to jump on in. She was so unprepared, and then equally is freaking out when she has to do like these small tasks of au pairing.
That's not even a word!
And again, it's so weird to me, the judgment of the dad, when she literally says he's teaching her in spite of the language barrier. Please, where's like the introspection that like you also don't know Italian? You don't know anything more than the ciao, grazie, prego. Like, why is that such a disconnect? Anyway, let's move on to part 4, because I feel like this video is going to be long. So I'm sorry. Maybe go get a snack. Maybe like there'll be an ad soon. And then like get a snack, get comfy, because I feel like this is going to be a long video. But I love hanging out with you guys, so hope you're enjoying it.
Part 4 of how and why I had to sneak out of my host family's house in Italy. Friday, April 4th. So this morning went exactly the same as the previous morning, except this morning I stood up for myself a little bit. I asked if we could please take public transport so I could learn how to do it, because Monday I would have been doing it by myself. So again, the host dad and I take the host child to school, but we use public transport. So he's trying to show me how to use public transport. We're just kind of looking at his phone because, again, the language barrier. If you go back in my other videos, you know that the number one problem is that the host mom isn't helping me at all, and she's the only one that speaks English. So we get back home. I had the day to myself. This was the day that I met up with the other girls, and it was super fun. I vlogged that day as well. At around 2 o'clock, I text the host mom asking what time I should be home so that we can go pick up the host child, and she replies to me saying that the host dad's gonna pick him up and I didn't need to come home because, again, normally I would have my Friday afternoons off. I hang out with my friends a little longer, and then I walk home. When I get home, I decided to call my parents. No one was home at that point. I called my dad and mom for the first time since I had been in Italy. I was very emotional. I got off the phone. I texted the host mom asking what time she'd be home, just because we'd been having dinner so late and I wasn't expecting that at all. Just not as late as we were. We were having dinner like 9:30, 10, 10:30 every night. When she said we'd be having dinner 7:38. I texted her about 6 p.m. asking when she'd be home. She said about 10 minutes. So I get in the shower, I shower. At this point, the host dad and the host child were home. So I grab my Kindle and I go out to the couch and I hang out with the host child. He's playing, I'm reading. The host dad makes the host child dinner, gives him a bath, and then he's like still playing. At this point, it's like 9 p.m. The host mom is still not home. This is the first instance when my red flag like alert immediately started going off. So she comes home a little bit after 9 p.m. I was was still reading on the couch, hanging out with the host child. She comes into the living room and proceeds to raise her voice at me. She was not happy that I was sitting there reading. She asked me why the host dad was doing everything, why I wasn't helping him cook dinner, why I didn't bathe him, why I wasn't playing with him, why I wasn't cleaning up his toys, all of these things. And I was just honestly confused. I apologized because that's just what I do. I apologized. I said, I'm sorry, like, this is maybe a miscommunication. I thought that I had off. You had told me I didn't have to go pick him up from school. I'm sorry. And she kind of just said, like, you need to be paying attention, and then just walked away. Anywho, that night we eat dinner. I cleaned up, and then we had a tablecloth on the table that we didn't have previously. So I asked her. She was sitting on the couch. Table's here. Couch, table. I asked her what I can do with the tablecloth, and she tells me to ask the host dad. I just couldn't understand why she couldn't have just told me what to do with the tablecloth and why I had to go ask the host dad when the host dad doesn't speak English. Oh my gosh. So that was so frustrating for me. Saturday was the day that I just realized I needed to leave. I was not comfortable at all. There's a lot to say about Saturday, so.
The au pair doesn't speak Italian. Oh my gosh. Why so judgy? As I was sitting there reflecting, I wonder now if the mum was actually on that first day telling her about her job, not to rant and trauma dump on her, but to be telling her, hey, I'm got a new position, like bit busy at work, dull. Like, I wonder if maybe that's why she was telling her, and so that is why the host dad is helping more, because I don't know, the mum has a new job and it's stressful. Like, the empathy, like, there's just a lack of empathy, and I do think it's not because she's a bad person. I do think it's just because she's young, just trying to get a perspective from the mum. I just wonder if she was expecting her to be a lot more proactive and to just know to jump in, and you're meant to be looking after the kid when you're home. Like, if the kid's not asleep, you're looking after them. You're doing the milk, you're doing the food. You can Google how to take the public transport to get the kid to school. I think the mum was maybe expecting her to be a lot more proactive, and I feel like she was expecting to be literally showing how to do everything, where I feel like those things are kind of basic things that people expect. She was literally expected to be shown how to do everything, whereas I'm guessing the mum had more experienced au pairs in the past, or just more proactive ones, and so they literally just jumped in. They didn't need to be shown how to look after the kids. They didn't need to be shown how to take him to school. I feel like all of those things are kind of assumed that you would know how to do or know how to figure out, like the problem solving skills. This is Ella's maybe biggest red flag, and to me the biggest concern of maybe what she's not learning from the situation is the problem solving, is like the conflict resolution. Like, she says she's standing up for herself by asking questions of how to do things, when it's like, people living busy lives, like, you just have to ask a question. That's not anything crazy. That's literally problem solving. That's asking for help. That's normal. Equally, the dinner thing, I feel like it's pretty common that people know that in Europe they eat dinner late. They like to have a late dinner. I don't know. Like, the judgment about the late dinner to an Italian person, that's a normal dinner time. I think that's the thing. It's like, there's just no like awareness of how other people live differently, of other language, of how you came into an environment and didn't know a language. And you need to be proactive and figure these things out. But anyway, let's get to part 5.
Part 5 of my story time on why and how I had to sneak out of my au pair family's house in Italy. Saturday, April 5th, this day was the day that broke me. I just want to remind everyone that Friday afternoon, Saturday, and Sunday were my days off. I chose to spend it with them that day. We were going to Portofino. They were going to show me around Portofino. So I woke up at 8:15, got ready for the day, and was out and ready to leave by 9. The night before, the host mom had told me we were leaving no later than 9, as it is a 2-hour drive to Portofino, and we want to get there early. So she walks out of her room at a little past 9 in her pajamas. She had just gotten out of bed. And honestly, this like really annoyed me, because I was tired too. She had me up late the last night. She slept in, and I was ready at 9. Okay. I didn't say anything. Of course I didn't. She got ready, I dressed the host child, and we left. Got focaccia for lunch, which was really good. This was at about 12. Afterwards, we went to a beach, and we sat there for about 3 to 4 hours. So after the beach, we got up, we walked around. This was about 5 p.m. And then host mom decided she wanted to stop at another pretty town. We went there, we walked around a lot. I will say, I was being left with the host child a lot. He's a slow walker, so they were walking away in front of me, and I wasn't gonna just leave the child, so I was walking with him, either holding his hand, or at times I'd pick him up and we'd run to catch up with them. But they were just kind of like ignoring me and just leaving me with him. Again, it was my day off, but I chose to be there with them. So the next part is where everything just changed for me, and I realized I just needed to get out of there. We leave at around 8 p.m. The host dad pulls the car around. I get in the car. The host mom puts the host child in the seats, and we get honked at because we're just sitting in the middle of the road. Duh. I would honk too. And immediately the host mom snaps at me. She gets in the car, raises her voice at me again, saying that I wasn't paying attention, I haven't been helping at all today, and I'm not like learning. First off, I was pushing the stroller at least half that day. I held his hand, I carried him. I stayed back with him while they were way ahead of us. So I was paying attention. You were not paying attention. Just snaps at me and I just wasn't understanding. But I was just like, okay. I just kept saying okay. There was no point in arguing with her. So at this point, I decided I wanted to leave. I changed my flight to the next day. I do want to say I didn't tell them that I wanted to leave for multiple reasons. One, I felt uncomfortable. I didn't necessarily feel safe. Two, the host dad's job, I'm not gonna say a lot of details. It was something in a field that like made me uncomfortable and kind of made me a little bit scared, and I didn't know how she would react. I decided that I just needed to get out of the house. I felt super trapped. On the car ride back home, we get stuck in massive standstill traffic. I was exhausted, so I fall asleep in the car, and then the host mom wakes me up, and she turns around, she raises her voice again, and starts telling me that I need to be reading to the host child, I need to be teaching him English, interacting with him, and again, paying attention. At this point, again, I was just so tired. I had a massive headache. I just wanted to get out of there. By the time I got home, it was around 11:20. That night is the night that I packed everything back up. And then in the morning, as y'all saw, I left. That is why I left. I did feel very uncomfortable there. I felt trapped. I had a really bad gut feeling. I just needed to get out. And that's my reasoning to why I had to leave.
Does anyone else feel like she doesn't understand why she was there? And I feel like this is the problem with assuming that people have common sense and like people understand the context. She clearly didn't understand that she's getting invited on these trips, but you're gonna have to look after the child. Like, she's almost acting as if she's like another one of their child or just like a member of the group. No, you are an au pair. Therefore, if you were there traveling with them, they're paying for you, taking you on this experience, giving you lunch, taking you to a new place, taking you sightseeing. The understanding as an au pair is that you look after the child. So the fact that she didn't understand why she was looking after the child is truly baffling. And look, I don't think that the mum had to explicitly say, you're coming on the holiday, but you have to look after the kid. Like, you're the au pair, like that is implied. It's implied. I'm sorry, it's implied. Is that a crazy thing to assume? I don't think that was crazy for the mum to assume, and you can only imagine why the mum was getting so frustrated, because it's like, we are literally housing you, feeding you, taking you on this trip, and this weekend is a great opportunity for you to learn, ask questions, interact with the kid, make a connection, so that, like she said, on Monday, when she's all on her own kid, you're on your own kid, she's prepared and knows what to do. And instead, she's acting like another child. She's acting like this is not her job, which is quite crazy to me. I really do not want to invalidate the fact that she probably did feel scared. And I do feel like this scaredness is, like she says, she's not good with confrontation. She sounds to be quite avoidant of just even asking questions. So I think that's probably why she felt scared to leave and why she felt like she had to sneak out, because the thought of telling them, the thought of saying, hey, I'm leaving after a couple of days, she did not want to have to deal with that confrontation, and it scared her, and so she didn't. And so she avoided it. She snuck out in the middle of the night so that she didn't have to deal with it. She didn't have to have that adult hard conversation. She didn't have to tell them why, and also because she clearly wasn't understanding why the mum was getting frustrated. The mum is getting frustrated because you're not being an au pair. You're kind of just like hanging out in the house, tagging along on the holiday. Like, I think the mum was annoyed about the car thing because the expectation is that you put the kid in the car. You learn how to put the kid in the car. You are pushing the stroller. When she was like, oh yeah, they weren't walking with me. They were walking far ahead and they left me with the kid. Because you're the au pair. The whole point. Did she not watch Jessie? I'm wondering if she didn't watch Jessie, that Disney Channel show with Debbie Ryan, our Lord and Savior.
I said, I want to make history. And that's what this is.
That was her 5-part series, and she did post a video trying to clear things up, because as each part of this series was being posted, she was losing people. She was losing the support. People were all of a sudden like, oh, that's not like, it's because you weren't doing the bare minimum. You clearly don't understand what is expected of an au pair. Not just a high maintenance Italian mother, just like an au pair in general. So let's watch her clearing things up video.
I kind of just want to clear a few things up because I have a lot of people coming at me right now. So first, I just wanted to say, when I posted that video, I had a little over 1,000 followers. I did not expect anything to come from it, maybe get 500 views, 1,000 views, and it's now almost 17 million views. And when I posted that video, like, it has no context. There's nothing, like, I don't say why I'm sneaking out. I don't say what's happening. Like, I'm literally sneaking out and then in the airport for the whole video. So there's like nothing, I don't know why it took off like it has, but so many people have just made up their own story in their heads. And then when they asked for a story time and I told my story time, it didn't match up with their story in their head. And so they were mad about it. So I'm sorry that you guys made up a story in your head and it didn't match up with what actually happened, but I wasn't gonna lie and say something that didn't happen. I told you what happened. I told you I was uncomfortable and didn't feel safe, so that's why I left. So I just wanted to clear that up. I also just want to say that I have had a job ever since I've been old enough to have a job. And then before that, I was a babysitter. I've never not had a job until now. So I think I'm just taking a little bit of a break. But I do like a job for like the routine aspect, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if I end up getting a little part-time job because I do love a good routine. Also say that I did send the host mom a text as soon as I got to the airport and as soon as I felt safe. I sent her a text. I explained that I didn't appreciate the way she was talking to me. I didn't feel comfortable in the house.
I can understand why she didn't expect this video to go as viral as she did. To expect it to do nothing is maybe, again, a bit naive because it is like a very like viral type of a video. There's a lot of drama. People want to know why. People really wanted to know the story, and the I'm sorry that you made up a story in your head answer was just a bit strange because of the volume of people that were coming at her and not agreeing with her. And it has that classic like blinders situation of it's too much to take in, so she's not taking in any of it. There's very minimal reflection of how she contributed to the situation and very minimal reflection on just how she wasn't understanding. And yet when people are giving her the answer, people are telling her what she was missing, she's not connecting the dots. She's not able to make those connections. And I think honestly it's just because she's young and she's naive and like, you know, she's talking about getting a part-time job for funsies and for a routine. Most people need a job because it costs money to exist in the world. But anyway, let's just watch her final video and then we will get into what the sleuths and TikTok was able to find out about the situation that provided so much more context.
So I wanted to answer some more questions. Yes, as soon as I got to the airport and I felt safe, I sent them a long text. I explained myself. I explained I didn't like the way she was talking to me. I explained I didn't feel comfortable or safe. And I wished them well and told them that I was on my way home. After a few hours, she sent me a long message back. I'm not going to share any of that with you guys because it's honestly none of your business. But yes, so I did send a message. I'm also getting a lot of people telling me that I'm privileged. And yes, if privilege means having a roof over my head, I'm privileged to stay with my parents, to have my stomach full at each meal, then yes, I'm privileged. But my parents don't buy me anything. I pay for my own flights, my own clothing, my own yummy special drinks that I go get at Starbucks or Dunkin'. They don't give me things like that, and I'm grateful for that because I've learned to work and earn it for myself. So yeah, honestly, people are just gonna say what they want, so it's fine. But I just wanted to let y'all know, and for those who have followed me from this whole situation or just, I don't know why you guys followed me, but I'm so happy that you guys did, and I want to make good content for you guys. So let me know what y'all want to see. I am going to Disney at the end of this month, and then we have a cruise coming up, which is going to be super, super fun. We have a few fun things coming up, but until then, let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see. This is going to be my last video around this topic. I kind of honestly am done with it at this point, but I'm getting a ridiculous amount of hate and rude comments when none of you guys were in my shoes or felt the way I felt. Some of the comments I do agree with, the ones that are nice, but also critiquing me a little bit, because I know that yes, was I a little bit immature and ran away when I could have talked to the family? Maybe I was. Was I a little bit dramatic? Probably. But what's done is done. I can't take back anything that happened. I felt unsafe for whatever my reasons were, and I decided to do what I did. If you don't agree, that's okay. It's my first time going through life just like you guys, and I make mistakes. So I will say that I definitely made some mistakes in that situation. I probably was not prepared, and I probably could have prepared myself more. And yes, there was a few mistakes that went down with it, but enough talking about that. I just want to say that I'm done talking about the situation. If you're following me and leaving terrible hate comments about me, first of all, you don't know anything about me, which is okay, I understand, but I don't understand why you're being mean to me. I don't really know what I did to you. But yeah, if you're following me and leaving hate comments, please just unfollow me. But if you're following me and supporting me and wanting to see my videos and wanting to follow along with my journey, or just want to see me experience life, I'm so happy that you're here. Yeah, so I just wanted to say this one last video. I'm done talking about that subject matter. I know comments are going to keep rolling in and people are going to keep reacting to that video just because it's so big right now, but I just want to say I'm done looking at them. Yeah, I've moved on, so I hope you guys can too.
I'm not privileged, but I am going to Disney and on a cruise. Right. And look, she's right. She did gain a full-on following out of this situation. She went from, like she said, under 1,000. She now has over 77,000 followers from this. And I think it's because she's very representative of just like I said, a 21-year-old girl who doesn't have a lot of responsibilities on their shoulders. She obviously lives at home, I'm assuming rent-free, and is able to kind of do what she wants, make content, maybe get a part-time job for a routine. Like, she was able to seemingly very easily like just move to Italy for 3 months. It's not negative, it's not mean, it's not trying to put her down. It's just the reality of having privilege, of not having to be stressed about money, of not having those extra things on your shoulders, of being able to pursue dreams like going to Italy for 3 months as an au pair. However, then when you get thrown into the real world, you can't connect with it. You're disconnected with it. You can't problem solve. You can't use Google and Google Translate to figure things out. She just didn't have the life skills or the self-awareness to know if being an au pair would fit her personality and her abilities that she has, because she was quite aware that she's shy and not good at confrontation and didn't cope very well with the language barriers. So it just felt like there was really a disconnect of, okay, maybe that means I'm not the most suited to be an au pair with the skill set and the language set that I have. But anyway, let's move on to the sleuths, and I wanted to just really show you guys my one favorite sleuth. Her name is Shay, and honestly, she has gone full detective. She's gotten a whiteboard involved. She is really boots on the ground on this operation. So I wanted to show you a couple of her videos because she really found out the bigger picture, a bit more about the family, and just generally provides more context and information to the story. So let's watch her videos.
Breaking down what the fuck is going on TikTok today. Au pair sneaking out, Italy explained. This girl went to Italy and she was supposed to be there for 3 months as an au pair, but instead she stayed 4 days. She posted a blog saying, sneaking out of my host family's house in Italy, documenting the whole thing of her going to the airport. Everyone thought she was like in danger. Finally, a few days later, she drops a story time of what happened. Let's get into it because people are like, you're just a childish American. Like, did you not do your research? So anyway, she vlogs her entire escape out of the house to the airport, her getting food, getting all the way back home. And then she's like, oh, I will get back on and I'll do a story time, and everyone's like, oh my god, I hope you're okay. Everyone thought she was in danger because of the way she made it seem. Like, we thought she was like escaping. We thought she was shackled somewhere, and our minds went to the worst. Then when she dropped her story time, it was not that eventful. It was just basically her explaining the sequence of events, and she was not having it. This woman was like not being kind, but we all waited for the story time just to find out this. There was a disconnect. It wasn't working, so it was over dramatized for sure. Yes, she should have maybe told the family, hey, I'm leaving, but instead she just like laughed. In another video, she said, I eventually texted the family a long thing saying, hey, so sorry I had to leave this way. Like, I just didn't know what to do. I didn't want to be confrontational, so I just left. Like, you, bye. And the woman responded to her, but she won't tell us what the woman said because apparently it's none of our business. I'm like, girl, you posted a vlog escaping out of Italy, had us thinking that you were shackled, and then you post a whole story time, 6 parts, and then you tell us it's like none of your guys' business. You made your escape our fucking business. It's on the whiteboard. It's my business now. So yeah, that's what's going on today on TikTok. Au pair sneaking out in Italy. Explain. This girl went to Italy, had never been an au pair before, didn't go through an agency. The mom was rude. She just left in the middle of the night. Okay, that was that. It's not like, oh, she ran away just because she didn't want to work anymore. She ran away because like the mom was disrespecting her, not helping her out, and just kind of threw her to the wolves, and she was not having it, so she left. Again, she could have done this in a more demure way, and yeah.
So I did want to show you guys a couple of snippets from her big whiteboard breakdown, and I will say she was really trying to consider how the au pair Ella felt, and she was really validating that she felt like she was being rude and that's why she left. And it's like, yeah, I don't think that they were the best fit for each other, and I think that because there was no contract, there was no setup, there was no formal process that maybe exacerbated the situation. There was no reason for it to escalate like this. But anyway, let's watch her next video where she really gets into the information and the further backstory.
Breaking down what the fuck is going on TikTok today. Au pair sneaking out, Italy drama explained. I'm drunk. It's 3 a.m. I already posted part 1 of the whiteboard ready from the girls' pub and that drama. But I fucking found the family. I found their profile. I am on it right now. I signed up to be an au pair. I used to be a nanny, actually. So this girl was actually in the wrong. Let's get into it. Tomorrow I will post a video where it's like more concise. So basically the profile says, are you ready to come to Milan? We are a modern, welcoming family looking for an au pair to join us and help our son. He is now 3.5 years old and is cheerful, lively child who loves to play and explore the world around him. To note, the parents are hot. The child is beautiful. They are like athletic, fit people. I want to go work for them after watching their profile. She says, I am blank. I am not going to post pictures of their children. Again, tomorrow I'll make a more concise video. I work as a strategic project manager in a food company, so good food is always an important part of our home. My husband, blank, is often away on weekends due to military commitments, so having extra pair of hands, especially in the afternoons and evenings, would be very helpful. This girl in her videos was like, oh my god, the dad, he works such a scary job. That's why I didn't want to like confront them. And then she was always complaining about the whole fucking dinner. Like, why is he making food? These people, after I read their profile, they are like health people. Like, they love to cook. They pre-made the meals. This girl had the fucking easiest job ever. I'm so drunk. We are an active family who enjoys sports and traveling. Our house is located in the heart of Milan, just 15 minutes of walk from Duomo, with easy access to shops, restaurants, and public transportation. Saturdays and Sundays will be your free days, allowing you plenty of time to explore the city and travel around Italy. Your main responsibilities during the weekdays will be, so this is where the girl, she goes, I had Fridays off and the weekends off and afternoons off. This girl did not read the job description the way she should have.
So before we get into the job description, I did want to pause it there because this is a longer video and it's the last one we'll watch, so don't even worry about it. But it provides so much context, and I just love Shay so much because I feel like she's wine drunk. It's giving wine drunk. She's just found the listing and found all of those pieces of information that make the story make so much more sense. First off, I feel like it is important to know that the family, they are hot, rich Italians. Love that for them. They're living their best life. But I don't know. I feel like coming from America, wouldn't working for like the military not be that strange? I don't know. I wouldn't be inherently scared of his job. It turns out he's a personal trainer for the military or some sort of, army type services. That to me is not inherently scary. He might be a more intimidating, like, I imagine to be quite buff guy, but he's still taking his time out of his day to teach you things when you don't know the language. And I feel like this comment is so good because they say, this job sounds incredibly balanced and way more rewarding than most au pair exchanges. Normally the point is learning the language and culture, but this is extra, and she had the gall to complain. And I think as we get into it, people really realize, wow, this is a very like unique and exciting au pair role because you get so many perks out of it. It's in such a great location. And as we'll get into it, like the expectations weren't that high, which I think is why the mother was so frustrated.
So she goes, accompanying blank child to school in the morning and picking him up at 6 p.m. except Friday at 4 p.m. So that's how I fucking knew this was the same person. So playing with him in the afternoons until dinner, which the girl did not do, and she complained about that. Assisting with dinner, bath time, and bedtime routine, which the girl was like, why am I doing bath time? Girl, the fucking job description was right here. In addition to childcare, we ask your help with some light daily household tasks. She was like, why do they expect me to like lift a finger? I'm here on vacation. Girl. Okay, so in the mornings, tidying up the beds, opening the windows, and washing the breakfast dishes. Standard as fuck. Please note that we have a cleaning lady who comes once a week for a deep cleaning, so your task will mainly be about keeping things tidy on a daily basis, which this girl was like, I'm not clocked in during the day. Like, no. At your discretion, you will have the opportunity to join us on several amazing holidays for sure. In August, we'll be in Salento for 2 to 3 weeks, enjoying the sea and summer life in southern Italy. I'm so drunk. In September, we'll go to Portofino, Five Terre. Trips will be a great opportunity to experience some of the most beautiful places in Italy while continuing to spend time with Blank Child in a relaxed vacation setting. They did go to Portofino. We previously hosted an au pair from New Zealand, and it was an amazing experience. She became part of our family, and we truly enjoyed the culture exchange. We are now looking forward to welcoming a new au pair who is kind, responsible, enthusiastic about spending time with Blank Child. We'd love to hear from you. I want to hear from the New Zealand au pair, because if you are interested, please send us a message about a brief introduction about yourself. Happy to arrange a video call to get to know you. Blah, blah, blah. They had 2 video calls. Okay, now.
Oh my gosh, once again, New Zealand being brought up, I feel like the likelihood of me knowing of this New Zealand au pair is probably quite high. That's just how New Zealand works. We're small, okay? But no, I don't actually know who the au pair is. I will say, like, knowing Italian in New Zealand is not that common, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Kiwi au pair learnt themselves or learnt when they arrived, and like they said, exchanging the culture. And I feel like as she was reading out the job description, it was very clear how much she didn't understand the expectations of her, and it makes so much more sense why the mother was frustrated, because like she said, she had a nap when the kid went off to school, and it's like clearly the mom being at home was expecting her to, do the general tidying, tidy up for the day. Once you do all those tasks, once you make the home tidy, yeah, you might have an afternoon free every day until you have to pick up the kid. Like, that is a sweet gig. Wandering around Milan? Oh my gosh. Torture. But also, as she said, at your discretion, you can join on these holidays. So if you're joining as the au pair. Because it's like, yeah, the parents are there and they can look after the child, but obviously it's beneficial for both people in general, but also on the holidays if the au pair comes, because they get to go on an extra holiday, they get to do extra fun things, and then the parents aren't always worried about the kid and they can enjoy the holiday too. But anyway, let's continue.
We're going to talk about their family. Our family consists of blank child, our cheerful, energetic 3.5-year-old, mom, dad. During the weekdays, we are often busy with work. We always make the most of our time together. Blank child attends a bilingual school, so he speaks Italian and is beginning to learn English. We believe that being exposed to different languages is an incredible opportunity for him, and having an au pair who speaks English will be great way for him to practice and improve. On weekends, we love to make our days special by trying out new restaurants, going to the gym. We believe in maintaining a healthy, sustainable lifestyle in a family, blah, blah, blah. We are an easygoing and formal family. We also like to plan our time efficiently. So, for example, we prefer to plan our meals in advance rather than rushing to find something last minute. We enjoy organizing our trips ahead of time to make the most of our experiences. We're looking forward to welcoming an au pair that we can part of our family to share our daily life values and adventures. So this girl was like, the dinner, it was like, she would say it was done, but it wasn't. These dinners were like pre-made. What the fuck, girl? Like, all you had to do was heat up the meal and give it to the child. That's all you had to do. And wash his dishes afterwards. So yeah, her whole thing, she was in the wrong. The American girl was in the wrong. And I was on her side initially. I was like, the woman was rude. But after reading this job description, I was like, girl, all you had to do was your job. Okay, so now our living situation. Our home is located in the historic building in the heart of Milan City. It has 2 bedrooms, one of which is designated for the au pair. Blank child currently sleeps in our room. The kitchen has been recently renovated, and we have a spacious and comfortable living area. Since we are on the ground floor, we have access to a beautiful communal garden, which provides a quiet and relaxing space to enjoy with just 1-minute walk from our home. There's a large park where you can take blank child for outdoor activities, go for a run, or simply enjoy a leisure stroll. Our neighborhood is lively and well-connected, and many restaurants, cafes, bakeries, where you can spend time working on your laptop or simply relax. The famous Square Milan's fashion districts are just 5 minutes right away. You can easily reach them with a shared bike or a pleasant 15-minute walk. If you enjoy nightlife, there are plenty of options nearby to explore. They're talking about just like the area they live in. Now we're getting into what we do in our free time. As a family, we love to make the most of our free time by engaging in a variety of activities. Traveling is one of our biggest passions, and we already have exciting trips planned to Portofino. That's where that girl went with them. Naples, Amalfi Coast. Are you fucking kidding me? And Salteno. If you'd like, you are more than welcome to join us on these adventures and explore some of the most beautiful places in Italy. Thermal spa, staying active is important to us, so we have arranged a free spa and gym pass, 1 per month, for our au pair, allowing you to relax and enjoy some well-deserved self-care time. Another important aspect of our lifestyle is our flexible diet. We eat a lot of vegetables. I like to maintain a balanced diet. These people are fucking skinny and fit as fuck. Like, I want to be them. They're all hot. Both of them are hot. And we're gonna get into the scary job of this man had. He literally is just like a personal trainer for the fucking military, and this girl's like, I'm scared of his job. Girl, she's a strategist fucking marketing girly, and he is a personal trainer. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. Yeah, they like to maintain a balanced diet, varying our meals on a daily basis with fish, meat, cheese, and plant-based options. We enjoy cooking fresh and healthy meals while also exploring flavors and cuisines. Whenever we have the chance, we like to spend time outdoors, taking leisure walks in natural parks to soak up the sun and enjoy the fresh air. We will even making the most of our free time and creating unforgettable experiences. We love for an au pair to be part of these moments.
So literally everyone in the comments, because if I didn't say, Ella's comments were off, so there's been no discourse for us to get into, but on Shay's comments, everyone's literally like, oh, I want to be that au pair. Like, get me on a plane. Get me to Milan. Stat. Pronto. Prego. I'm learning Espanol at the moment, so my minimal Italian is out my brain. But I would definitely learn Italian for this family. And it's just like, there's so many extra additional things, like getting good, amazing European food, like what I would give to eat Italian food all the time and healthy Italian food, have access to a gym, self-care, and be a part of a family that encourages those things, that is very well off. So you are going to have a lot of amazing experiences. Like, I would love to hear from this New Zealand au pair too, to be honest, because if this job listing is anything to go by, it sounds like she had a great time. And if I didn't have a boyfriend and 2 dogs, this may have made me want to be an au pair. It just feels like she really robbed herself of this experience by just not understanding the basic expectations of an au pair, by just not understanding the standards and what you should do and what she should have been doing. Like, if you do those basic things and you make an effort with the language both ways, like, you would have been set up and had a great experience, had so many new life experiences, learned and grown so much. I feel like every time I travel, whether it was Camp America or just in general, like, you learn so much. It pushes you when you're not in a country that speaks your language. It makes you have to figure things out. It makes you have new experiences. I just feel like it's quite sad for her when you think about it, that she lost out on all of those experiences because she just didn't understand what is expected of an au pair. But anyway, let's watch the rest of this video and then we can have final thoughts and opinions.
So you know how they went to Portofino with that girl, and they're like, and she was like, oh my god, they kept running off. But I'm like, okay, you were there for like 2 days. Stand the fuck up. They're clearly like watching how you are with this child, but you're like, I'm not clocking in. Also, she said she didn't work Fridays. Girl, you work Fridays, and we're gonna get into that piece of it. So this is the daily routine. Our daily routine is structured yet relaxed, allowing for both organization and quality time. During the week, the mother leaves her work at 8:30 a.m., which is when the child is supposed to go to school, which is what that girl said, and returns between 7 and 8 p.m. So why was this girl like the mom wasn't home at 6 or 5? Clearly, she's not. She's a working baddie. The father is often away for work during weekdays, so having an extra pair of hands is truly valuable. Bling child can arrive at school anytime between 8 and 9 a.m. and finishes at 6 p.m. clocked. In the morning, he starts his daily day with a bottle of milk, and in his evening, he usually has a quick meal before winding down for the night. His bedtime is no later than 10 p.m. to ensure he gets enough rest. Weekends are family time. We love to spend Saturdays and Sundays together, whether at home, outdoors, or exploring new places. The au pair is complete free to whatever she desires, whether relaxing, exploring Milan, meeting friends, or traveling. However, if she wishes, she's more than welcome to share moments and activities with us, whether it's family meal or an outing or a trip. So this girl was like, when's dinner ready? Blah, blah, Portofino, oh my god. So then we are looking for an au pair. So this is like the whole schedule thing. This is where this girl like did not read very well. We are looking for an au pair to join your family in Milan. Your main role will be caring for our son, Blank Child, 3.5 years old, and assisting in his daily routine. Your responsibilities are, girl, these were your responsibilities. How the fuck did you not clock that? Also, I'm wearing the Huda Beauty settings for my makeup. Still looks so fucking slay. A lot of you hoes are talking shit about it on TikTok saying, oh my god, it sucks. I spray it and it sucks. Shake it. Just shake it. Anyways, so morning, 8:30 a.m. Take Blank Child to school. Evening, 6 p.m. Pick him up, play at the park, and supervise him until dinner. Dinner, 7 to 8. Assist him with his meal prepared by us. So the meals are pre-made, girl. The meals are pre-made. Maybe you should make your own meal. Like, I don't know, go get a snack. Bedtime routine. Help with bath time and getting him ready for bed by 10 p.m. Huh. Weren't you complaining about the whole bath time, bedtime thing? And you were saying that, oh, at nighttime, I was off duty. Oh, on Fridays, I was off duty. Girl, your job description says those were your work hours, and we're going to get into that. Schedule and free time. Monday to Friday, morning drop-off and evening care. That is your job. Midday, 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. This girl had the whole fucking day off. Her only job was give this child milk, take him to school. You get to fuck around all during the day. Then 5:30 p.m. happens. You clock back in. You help with evening activities, right? I'm reading in the job description, and this is everything this girl was complaining about. Weekends usually free, except for occasional 2 to 3 hours of help planned ahead of time. What we offer, monthly payment. The more involved you are, the more you will be appreciated and rewarded. This girl was not involved, so she was not rewarded, appreciated. Anyways, that's what the fuck is going on TikTok. I will like post screenshots and go more into it tomorrow, but you guys were like, no, we need the shit now, and I'm drunk, so this is what it is. She was in the wrong. The American girl au pair was in the wrong. Good night. Mwah.
And we thank you, Shay Whiteboard Girl, for your services. She hasn't posted the other video, but I feel like we get the vibe, we get the important information, and we have a fun time with Drunk Shay. No one's mad about that. But yeah, it's just so clear that she had no idea what was being expected of her. And then so obviously the mum was getting incredibly frustrated. And it's like, if you just read the job description, if you just reflected on that information, you could have had such a great time, but you really took that away from yourself. And I think the biggest worry and sadness for me is that I don't think this Ella girl is a bad person. I think she's just young, naive, and just came completely unprepared. But it's just like, because the internet had such a big explosion and visceral reaction to hearing about her messing up this dream job and her not having a basic understanding of what an au pair is, because it was such a big reaction to her, I just don't think that she's going to reflect on how she contributed to the situation, on how she could have been more proactive, on how she could have prepared herself more, and how doing all of those things would have given her so many life skills and so many cool experiences. And bonding with that family, like, yes, it's just for 3 months, but you can get recommended to other families. They might want you back later. You just lost out on so many cool opportunities because you came so unprepared and you were so judgmental of this family. I think that's the thing. I don't want to say that this is an American thing. I think it's just like a young people thing, that like being so unaware of like other people's lifestyles, of like what other people do, just like not knowing how to figure things out in a different country, in a different language. Like, she acted like heating up a meal in a different country's microwave was crazy, or an oven or a stovetop, like whatever it was. I'm sure it was just warming food, right? Warming healthy food. that the parents already prepared, so she didn't even have to cook. Like, I know a lot of au pairs do have to cook as well. I feel like I was so right that the midday clock out is because she would come back home, do the daily tidying and chores and all of that stuff, and then you get to have 5.5 hours off for your whole day to explore, to travel, to do things, to hang out with friends, to, you know, learn Italian, to learn about a new city and country and have cool experiences. But instead she saw like the bare minimum as being asked of way too much, and she saw asking questions of someone as being confrontational. And I feel like that is just why it's sad to me that I worry she won't learn from this experience, like she won't grow from it, because she didn't see how she contributed to it. She didn't see what skills were needed to help her in that situation and to help her make the most of it. But anyway, I know this video is so freaking long. I'm so scared to even see how long I've been recording for, I'm afraid. So I'm cutting myself off once again, but please let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I would love to know. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. If you stayed to the end, you are a real one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to keep up with me between my uploads, I'm on TikTok and Instagram, and I'll link my vlog channel down below. And YouTube should be recommending another one of my videos somewhere on the screen right now. But don't you worry, guys, because I'm not funny there either. Bye.